Hi everyone, it's Bobby at the Paper Jungle. I have just completed Volume 2 of Remember the Time. It is impossible to come up with something that's not beautiful when you have papers like this. This is pretty much the same layout as Volume 1 on the cover. I have 1¼ inch strips of each of the 6 design papers on the front. It says Remember the Time Volume 2, July through December. These flowers came in the kit. These 2 little white ones were left over from Volume 1, so I added those there. And these little clear baubles were in Volume 1, and I added 3 of those just so it's like Volume 1 on the cover. And then this embroidered lace. And on the spine, I've done it the same as Volume 1, with just little samples of each of the papers. I have not covered the back yet because I have another project coming up in November with the design team, and I want to make sure I've got enough for it before I cut into anything for the back. So the layout of this is basically the same as Volume 1, but some of the page designs are a little bit different. On the inside cover this time I have a double flap with a magnet. Let me make sure you can see. I want to make sure I'm in frame. A double flap. This baker's twine holds smaller embellishments. This is a journaling spot with a photo mat or another journaling spot there. We have 2 photo mats on the back. And in the acetate pocket, I have a couple of the cut-aparts and a couple photo mats. I've left these blank on the back. And we have these 2 photo mats. And they're loose so that you can put something, a picture up under it. These glimmer papers are beautiful. And there will be a cut list in the description box. And on the cut list, I detail for you the names of all the my colors that I used. Each of the color names. I'm going to put these in the pocket this time. And it closes with a magnet. Then you have room for a photo here as well, and on the back of that. So this is July. Things are sticking to my arm. And this little tuck spot keeps your flap closed. You have your calendar. I personally wouldn't write anything on the calendar, but I have a notepad in each one so that you can document that way and keep your calendar nice and new. So we have 2 spots here, and this is open so you can tuck behind it. And then you have your little notepad, and that's how I chose to decorate this page. Put the little red strips, and I have a punch that punches out these stars, so I just added red and blue to each of those areas. So I have just 7 sheets in the notepads, but you could probably easily get 20 in there. I mean, there's plenty of room under there. So there's that. Closes down with these little stoppers. And then for August, aren't these colors gorgeous? I put my pocket higher this time. I just thought that would be neat, something different. We have a photo mat here. Goes in this pocket. And then we have 2 of the tags that were on the cut-apart sheet. They're so pretty. And another photo mat. Or it could be a journaling spot. And then there's one of these journaling cards on each of the pages. And I just matted this with some of My Colors cardstock and fastened it down with a paper clip. And then, whoops. Just wanted to slide out. Here is August. And this one is tucked under that embellishment a little bit. And it's basically the same thing. These papers are so gorgeous. And there's a double photo mat on the inside of the flap. So this one just tucks up under there, and then I put a couple tickets in there. It doesn't really require it because the embellishment holds it down. August is all in peach and purple. I thought it was such a pretty color combination. And here is your journaling spot for this one. It says, all at once summer collapsed into fall. And then you have another photo mat or journaling spot. I would put a photo here myself, and I would use a white gel pen on the back. But that's just what I would do. So those go in there, and then we have another one of her tags. It's just plain on the back. And then here is September's calendar. This one is tucked behind as well. And I have a little tuck spot up here on this one. Make sure I'm still getting in frame for you. I hope so. I wish I had a bigger area to film in. Hopefully if I get to move in the next couple months, I'll have more space. And I did cut strips to go in here, which I forgot to put them in, but I have them. And I'm going to put these in here just to take up some of that black space. So that again tucks under here. And we'll put these little embellishments there just for some extra color. And this is open so you can tuck inside of it. Then October, that is my favorite. Oops, my magnet didn't hang on to it. Let me see. Let me move this over a little bit. My flowers are making it not lay down flat. So I have a die that cut this out in my stash, and I did not glue this down. This is open as well, and once you put your picture down, then you could put a little bit of adhesive on that. So this opens out this way, and I have a little fence from a die that I have in my stash with a ghost, and then it opens this way. And we have a pumpkin with some baker's twine and another photo mat, and then you can go this way. And we have another spot. That's the same spider web that was on the front. And then you have a little banner, flag banner with 3 bats. And on this side, we have another ghost with the word boo. And then this tag pulls out. This is one of the large graphic 45 tags, but to make it fit, I had to cut an inch off the bottom. And I fussy cut Little Girl from the paper, and I used a repositionable glue so that you can put your photo down and then stick her back down. And it just goes up under here. Okay, and then here's your October calendar with little cut aparts again, another ghost and the word boo. And then we have another tuck spot in here with a tag and a cut apart. They're so cute. And here's your journaling spot for October. So it's all just a bunch of hocus pocus. It's cute. Aren't these papers gorgeous? Just beautiful. Let's put this down. We'll put these in here. Then we'll have November. Look how pretty this green is. That's another one of the glimmer papers from My Colors. I kind of have to lift it up so you can see it because those flowers are making it stick up in the air. There's your journaling spot. Says there's always something for which to be thankful. It's got a little boy sitting on a turkey. And then you have this photo mat, and I double matted it. And you could use a white gel pen on the back of it too, or another photo. And then here's your calendar. You've got a large photo mat here, and your little notepad. I'm not having much luck here. I've split so many fingernails while I was making this project. There we go. And December. And I did a little splatter on these two over here. And I cut these out of the design paper. And this was on the paper as well. Believe in the magic of the season. And it just... I have embellishments on the back. This one has a snowflake with a flat pearl, and this is one of the little cut aparts, and then you have this huge photo area. And then for your calendar, it tucks under a little bit as well. And here's a little booklet. And I used the green for the photo mats. I thought that was so pretty with this stripe. And it's plain on the back. And then here's your little notepad. And I angle cut all of these pockets this time. I thought that was really pretty to do that. Something a little different. I get tired of doing the same thing a lot. Try to change it up. And here's 2 more photo mats, and I just scattered some snowflakes down there from a die I've got in my stash. And this is from the border page, or from the cut aparts. There's a border on each one of them. So that is my album. I thought it turned out really, really pretty. So we have volume 1 and volume 2, and my plan was to make a box or some kind of container to hold both of them, but I'm still going to try to do that, but I'm not sure how it's going to work out because both of these are 3-inch spines. So your box is going to have to be at least 6, maybe 6 1/4 wide. It's going to be a big box, so I'll see how it works out after I do the November project. See how much paper I've got left too. So I will let you know on that, but here is volume 2. I hope you love it, and if you decide to make it, I would love to see your finished project. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Okay, for volume 2, I have built the cover just like volume 1. The pages are exactly the same. You can follow. I do have another cut list made for you, but the pages are exactly the same as volume 1. They're the pocket pages. We're going to have the little notepads like we had in volume 1. I've got all of those put together, so you can follow the instructions in volume 1 as far as building your album cover, the little notepads, and attaching the months to the black cardstock, and then you'll have those ready, and each of them is scored at 1/2 and 3/4, and these are they're 4 7/8 by 8, I believe. They are on your cut list. So I've got those ready. I've got my little notepads ready. And the main thing I'm changing is the front and back covers. So I wanted to go over that with you. I've chosen the paper for the front cover. And it is this one with the kids and the flag. I am going to put an acetate pocket at the bottom, and it's going to wrap around the page and be attached with score tape underneath. And then once I get it all put down like this, and then I'll have a small strip of acetate at the bottom, or score tape at the bottom, and I will hide that with this trim. This is a border trim that wants to curl on me right now till I get it glued down. But this border trim will hide the score tape. Then I have 2 flaps. This one is the five and 3/4 by 6, and it is the Artisan Navy Blue, and it is going to go up about a 1/2 inch or so from the top. And then I have red that is 4 3/4 by 4, and both of these are scored at 1/2 and 3/4, and this one is going to overlap, and I've just cut these out tentatively. I don't know that I'll use them there, but that's just, I have to put mats on them and what have you, so I'm not sure if I'll use those or not. Then I have used sandpaper from the My Colors collection for the spine, and it is 8 7/8 by just shy of 3, and it's going to sit there. And then on December I have chosen this paper to cover the back, and then here is your calendar, again scored at 1/2 and 3/4. I haven't done all my burnishing yet, so that will sit there. Now you can decide if you want these on top of the calendar or under the calendar, whichever way, it doesn't make any difference. I am going to cut a small piece of acetate to go under here so that it catches the little notepad. But this is Artisan Green, these two flaps. Let me give you the measurements. They are on the cut list, but just so you can see where everything goes. This one is 5 3/4 by 4 1/2, scored at 1/2 and 3/4, and it is going to go. And again, I've got the sandpaper mat here, and I cut this from the design, from one of the design sheets. It's actually from one of these. It just says "Believe in the Magic of the Season," and I added a little green artisan behind it, and it had these little holly berries on it. I thought it was so pretty, so I'm going to put that there, and I'll just glue it at the top so that you can put a picture under it. That will go here. And then the smaller flap is 5 1/4 by 4, and again scored at 1/2 and 3/4. Then we've got the sandpaper glimmer from My Colors, and that will go down here. And I fussy cut the little girl and a sprig of holly, and that will go here. And then I'll leave them loose where you can hook either a journaling spot or maybe a phrase or another photo, whatever you might want to put in there. Now I hope all that's in frame. I'm trying, guys. It's really hard in this small space. Then the only other thing I have laid out so far is, oh, I wanted to show you too the hinge. The hinge is, I think, 8 by, let me see, I think it's 8 1/4 by 7. Let me look. Spine. Yes, 8 1/4 by 7 for the hinge. That's going to sit right here on the spine. And I did it out of Artisan Black. And you'll score every 1/2 inch all the way along until you get, then you'll glue 1 and 2 together, skip 3, glue 4 and 5 together, so on and so forth. When you get to the last 2, you glue those together. Now, most people have already made a hinge. If you haven't and you have any trouble, send me a message and I'll be glad to help you. But you'll end up with 5 hinges here. So, here's what June is going to look like. Here is June's calendar. And I cut small strips of the design paper. Those are 1/2 inch strips, and then I've got a 1/4 inch of the red. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And this will go down the middle. And I haven't cut anything for underneath this yet. I don't know what I'm going to do just yet. But then on my pocket, I have cut a piece of red, blue, and the design paper, and these are going to layer here to make tuck spots. But I want to look through my inks and paints and see what I've got that I can lightly splatter this with some red and blue, because it's just too plain for me. So I need something on there, and I'm thinking about putting this circle embellishment there. Haven't decided for sure, but that is my game plan so far. So this will be on hinge 1, and we'll coordinate with that. So that's what I'm going to do, and then here's my little July notepad. So that one's all ready. So I will be back shortly. I'm going to glue all these in place and come back, and I will probably change some more embellishments and maybe inserts. But as far as building the pages and all of that, it's exactly the same as Volume 1. Alright, I'll be back shortly. Alright, I want to give you an update of what I have done so far. I have built the pages. Excuse me. I have not attached these yet. Some people like to put them in the book and then decorate them, but I like to decorate them first because I feel like when they're laying flat on my tabletop I can get a better burnish on the pages. But it's just a matter of personal preference, whatever you like to do. But on July, I have just put mats on here for photos or journaling. I did add a little baker's twine here so that you could slide an embellishment or something up under it if you like. And when you lift this one up, then there is a clear pocket here so that you can see what's underneath. I haven't finished my embellishments yet, but there is a magnet in this that holds it down like that. Then this is the right hand side, which the right hand side of each page will hold your little notepad just like the first volume. It's like this, and I have photo mats here with a couple little stars. I just used a little punch that I had in my stash, and here is your little booklet. Just looks like that. And I added one of the banner pieces that came from the page with some strips and embellishments, cut aparts, and this will close down and these will hold it closed. So then when you turn that over, we have August, which is these two pages. And of course your little notepad is under here. I'm not going to lift each one because they're all pretty much the same. That just lifts up, and there's your notepad with two photo mats. These papers are so gorgeous. Now this tucks under this little embellishment, and I put a couple more up under here, but you can do it however you like. So that is your August, and then I have a pocket here that I need to fill with embellishments. I just love these colors together. Then on September, we have the purples and peaches, and they are so pretty, and I just put an angle pocket here on this side. Got more embellishments to finish. And here's your page that has the notepad in it. And this is October, and I do have one piece to add to October. Let me finish showing you what I've done, and then we'll come back and do that together. So this is going to go over here, and here is your October with a notepad. So pretty. I just love this paper. Let's open this one just so you can see. Aren't those colors gorgeous? They're so vibrant and beautiful. So there's October, and more embellishments for November. I've got a lot yet to do. I hope to have it done in the next day or two. I just did get my paper collection yesterday. My kit, that is. I had some papers already that she had sent me earlier for another project, and so I started working with them to get the basic layout. But I needed what came yesterday to finish, so now I'm trying to finish. So there's a large photo there, and this is your November. Aren't these papers just beautiful? And I will have the cut list ready for you, and I also listed in there all of the my colors that I used. This is one of the my colors. I love the ones that have the sparkle glimmer in them. And then here is December, and I just did a little splatter on those pages. Got a double photo mat here, and there's a magnet on that one, and then on the back cover is your December calendar and notepad. So I've got a few more things I cut out here, and that little girl, I don't know where I'm going to put her yet, but somewhere, because she's too cute to leave her out of it. So let's go back to October. What I want to do with October, and I have put these pieces on your cut list, but I put on your cut list 2 pieces 4 by 12, And I'm going to tell you what I did because I had to cut them down. So the first piece is actually, let me start from this end because that's 0. This one is 12, and I scored it at 1/2, and yeah, that would be 1/2. If you're going from the other side, okay, we're going from this side, so if you scored 1/2, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Yeah, it would be 6.5. I want to make sure I'm telling you right. So you'll score it at 1/2 and 6.5. And this piece is going to attach here. Then on your second piece, I cut it down to 11.5. No, it's not a full 11.5. It's about 11 1/4. And it is scored at 1/2 and 6 3/4. And then I'm going to add glue to the underside of this tab and attach it here like that. So let's do that. Put a little glue on there. So we're going to attach that to piece 1. So it's going to make a little pull out so that it will lift up like this. Let me get that glue wiped off there. I tend to get a little overzealous sometimes. Okay, so that will make your pull out like this. And in order to make it level on the back, I have, let me get this jacket off, it's getting too warm in here. I had to shut the air off so it didn't make so much noise. And then I get too hot, and when it's on I get cold and I have to put my jacket back on. Okay, let's move this up so you can see. Actually, let's take the book out of the way and we'll just work with the page. Okay, so we have the page, and I'm going to tuck a large tag behind it, but I did cut, how much did I cut off? I think I cut 1 inch off. Yes, I cut 1 inch off the bottom, and then just use my corner rounder for the bottom. So on this piece I want to add, I have a 1 inch piece that I scored at 1/2. And I'm just going to put some glue on this side. And just give my tag a little wiggle room underneath, and it will allow this to sit level. Yeah. So I'm going to attach it to this bottom piece right on the outside edge. Okay, now I want to put a magnet under here, and that will hold this closed. So I want my tag to be here, and I want this to sit over it, kind of sit. I want it a little closer to the bottom than the top. So I am going to put my magnet on the back side of here. And I'm going to put it kind of center so that it'll be under here. See if that'll work. Yeah, that should be about right. Now let me take my tag out, and I need a negative. this on here. Situate this. I want him right about so. I'll rub that into place so my magnet will stay. And I want to put a piece of tape over it so that when I put the tag in and out it doesn't get caught. So let me get a piece of tape here. I'm going to put a piece of packing tape over it. Because I don't want my tag to get hung up on it, which it probably will. Because see, if I slide it down, it's going to hit on that. That's why I want to cover it. Cut this little corner off where I turned my tape. Okay, so I'm just going to put this over the magnet. And then when I put it in, it'll go right over. It won't catch on that edge. So now, I'm going to add glue to these two tabs. Actually, I want to trim these edges just a little bit. Just take the corners off. Just in case, I don't want them to stick out. Okay, so I'm going to add glue to these two little side wings, I call them. I want to find my magnet here. There it is. Make sure it's sitting straight. And I'm going to press that into place. Open this out and press both of these down real good. Now my tag will slide back behind like that. And when I close this, it will hold everything together and it'll keep my tag from sliding through. So I will get all of this embellished and then I will add my pages in the book. And in order to add your pages, I like to start from the back when I add them. Let me move this over here so I can show you real quick. Got so many pieces stashed inside each of these pockets. What I like to do is just apply my glue on both sides of this flange and then just open your pocket here and sit your page down on it and center it from top to bottom. Now don't push it all the way in. Once you get it centered, then bring it back just a hair so that when you lay it down, it lays pretty flat. But you don't want it crammed up to that hinge completely, or to that score line. Then it will lay down. Then when you put in your next page, you'll do the same thing. Let me get my pocket open here. Get a fingernail in there. Oh, come on, pocket. There it is. When you put your next page on, you'll add your glue just like the other one. There we go. Then you'll lay it down. Bring it back just a little bit. Line it up here and here so that it's uniform and press it into place. And you'll continue that for all 5 pages. And see how pretty they look laid out like that. But I've got a lot of embellishing and some photo mats to make, so I'll finish that up and then I'll come back with the final walkthrough so that you can see everything finished. And then if and when you decide you want to make this particular design, you can stop and backtrack, rewatch, rewind, record, whatever, as many times as you need until you finish it up. But it'll always remain there so that you can complete it at your own pace. So I thank y'all for watching. If you do decide to make it, I hope you'll share pictures with me. You know, unless I hear from you guys, I don't know if you like what I create or if you want to see more designs from me or how you feel about things. So I really do appreciate getting comments from you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you back with the final walkthrough.